Well, we back. Building a Foundation podcast. Today I got with me my beautiful chocolate wife. And we're going to be talking a little bit about um, history. Where did Valentine's Day come from? Is Valentine's Day really important? What does God have to do with any of this? And is routine stronger than love? In other words, we know that on Valentine's there are certain things that happen on Valentine's. Sometimes you get flowers, sometimes you get candy, sometimes you
Jewelry.
get a
Lots
jewelry,
and lots of jewelry.
a romantic night out, maybe a home cooked meal. I'm not
Actually,
sa-
every day. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with those things, but how do you separate routine, tradition? How do you separate it from what love really is? How do you remove those things so you can get a good look at love? So my question today is, what does Valentine's Day really mean to you? I want you to think about that. What does it really mean to you? I'm gonna give you a few minutes to think. What's wrong, baby?
Nothing. Your 5 minutes is up. Let's go.
Okay, my few minutes is up. Earlier, I posted a flyer talking about Saint Valentine. Okay, Saint Valentine's was a real person. Okay, he was not something that was made up. He was a real person. He was a believer in Jesus Christ. He was a Christian, as we would call ourselves today. And Saint Valentine's believed in the one flesh union. He believed in marriage very strong. He thought that all men and women should be married. And so that's what he did. He spent his time going around marrying people that wanted to be married, people uh, that loved God, that believed in the one flesh union. Well, in those days, Saint Valentine ran into a king that was not too happy with what he was doing. Uh, Back in those days, um, if a person got married, they didn't have to go and fight in the war. And so the king didn't like the fact that there was so many men being married that his army was not being strengthened, it was being weakened. And so he headed out for St. Valentine's. And he eventually arrested him and put him in jail. And he told him basically to just stop doing what he's doing and he'll let him go free. Uh, but St. Valentine's believed in love so strongly that he decided he was going to continue to do what he was doing, even if it cost him his life. While he was in prison, the jailer's daughter, who history says was blind at the time, would come and talk to him and feed him and things like that. And they got kind of close. History doesn't say anything about a romantic relationship, anything, but it does say that they got kind of close. And she tried to get St. Valentine's to just stop doing what he's doing so that he could live. Well, he refused, and he wrote a letter to her before his execution, and he signed it, Your Valentine's. They eventually cut his head off, and that's how Valentine's Day came. Because of a courageous man who believed in the one flesh union. Uh, God is everywhere. God don't make mistakes. So, what does love really look like?
Like this.
The reason I ask that question is because sometimes we get so caught up in routine that everything just looks normal, like a part of our life. You can't even tell anymore when someone really cares, when somebody really loves you. I didn't even know that I was in love with my wife when we first met. I didn't know because I wasn't looking for love. I wasn't even looking for a relationship, to be honest. Uh, I'll be joking with her all the time. I always tell her
That I put something in his food.
See, she remember.
And I ain't never cooked for him.
Because I don't really know how this happened. But I know that God had his hands in this. I remember going into these apartments where she lived when we first met. And at that time, I left the apartments before I actually met her and told myself I would never go back over there. But what I didn't know is that God had already set things in motion. He already had a destiny and a plan for me. He already had chose my wife from the day of her birth and the day of my birth. He was already setting up a path for us to meet each other. And just so happened, I decided to go back over there. And that's how we met. And the rest is history. I mean, I still don't know what happened. But this is what I try to tell y'all, man. This is a real show for real people that can handle real conversation. So I want to get back to the other part of this. Sometimes you got to spice things up. I'm talking to the men now. Sometimes you got to change things around. You can't continuously do the same thing over and over and over. You buy a woman a rose, it's going to die. It's okay. The rose is good, but you need to plant something in her heart that's going to live forever. And I can't tell you what to do, but you have to be spontaneous and come up with your own thing. What works for me may not work for you. What I do for her, your wife might not like. So you have to know her. And you have to find a way to fall in love with her over and over again each day.
Like the time you turn our bedroom into a suite.
You want to tell us about it?
No.
You don't?
I'm just saying.
So what happened?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Now she don't want to talk about it.
You did it. You did it.
But basically, I'm always trying to come up with something to express my love. I can't even be mad at her no more than 5-10 minutes, and I start feeling guilty because I don't like to see her hurt. I don't like to see her cry. So in my house, Valentine's is every day. We do this every day. We'll dress up just to eat a meal and look at each other. We just love doing things like this. People say that romance is dead, but I don't think it is. I think it may be dead for the younger generation, but for us old guys that still wear crooked Dob hats, we still know how to be romantic. You know, I wasn't listening to Johnny Taylor for nothing. You know, he taught me some things. You know.
Not Johnny Taylor.
But anyway, let me challenge you. I know y'all ain't gonna do it, but let me challenge you. How about you give your wife a pass that says she can have you do 5 things, and you have to do exactly what she wants you to do for Valentine's. But you pick the categories. Like for instance, you might say go out. You might say kitchen. You might say bedroom. You might say the park. And you got these categories, right? So in these categories, she can pick something for you to do in either one of these categories for a day or however long you give it to her. So, for instance, if she chooses the kitchen, she might want you to cook for her. If she chooses the park, she might want you to just walk with her in the park. I'm just giving you something simple.
Romantic picnic.
But, yeah, a picnic. So, give her a pass on Valentine's. Let her have you do some things for her and you do it. Now, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have did that right.
No.
Because I don't, women can come up with some strange things to do. So, no offense to my ladies, but she might have
So
me.
that means anything, though, right?
Yeah, anything. She might have me cleaning the house. And I don't know if I want to do that.
That'll be a gift to me.
So you want to see me wash dishes?
I won't have to do it. I mean, I'm just. Hey, you said anything. Doesn't that fall under anything?
Yes.
Okay, get back to your serious talk.
Okay. Anyway, I did a podcast not too long ago, and I was talking about taking coffee and water and merging it so that it become one flesh, and you cannot separate it anymore, right? This is what I believe we have. There's no separation with us. No matter what happens, I think that we can figure it out. And the reason that I know we can figure it out is because we have God. Like I said, I'm not going to preach to you guys all the time, but get used to me preaching because I am a preacher and I am going to preach. I am going to talk about the Lord. I am going to talk about God. And if that offends you, I'm sorry. But without God, we're not going to make it. Because I know that if I didn't have God in my life, we wouldn't make it. Me and this lady, me and my wife, we wouldn't make it if I didn't have God. I wouldn't be able to deal with it.
What's this? Wait, what? Elaborate. The people want to know, and so do I.
I may have put my foot in my mouth. If you see another podcast and I'm sleeping on the couch, you know what happened, right?
Elaborate just a little.
In other words, we're two different people. We come from two different backgrounds. We have two different beliefs. We have two different understandings. And sometimes what we understand, what we believe, what we feel, it clash. It just doesn't go together. And only somebody that can bring understanding in two different opinions is God. He's the glue that put the two different opinions together and make them make sense. Because sometimes we be talking about the same thing or saying the same thing. We just saying it in a different way or understand it a different way.
Yeah.
And so you need God to give you a clear picture so that you don't be so angry and you don't make bad decisions based on your emotions. I didn't plan to do a full podcast tonight because I know that the weather's supposed to be bad on Valentine's from what I hear. It's supposed to be raining, but you can never, you will never know what's gonna happen. So a lot of people are probably out celebrating tonight. So when you see this recording, hit us up, man. Give us a comment. The more comments we get, the better it is for us all, right? But love her, man, for real. Let me be a little bit more serious.
And vice
for a
versa,
second.
ladies.
When I was in my studies, I was doing some thinking, and this is for real. I'm gonna get ready to let you guys go, but I was doing some studying, right? And I want you to think about this. This is what helps me. When I look at my mother, I look at my sister, I look at the other young ladies that's in my life, nieces and all of the ones that been through some things in their life, right? And I look at their lives and I look at their situations, I begin to compare what they've been through to the other women that I know and what they've been through, right? Now, I'm not trying to be sympathetic towards women only because I know men been through some things, but right now I'm talking about females. So if you go and look at the projects, for instance, across the state of Texas, let's just put a number out there. Let's say you got 20 sets of apartments, right? Projects or whatever. And each set holds 500 units, meaning there's 500 mothers there. And each one of these mothers got anywhere from 1 to 6 children, right? By 2 or 3 baby daddies and sometimes one. And a lot of times the men are not in the picture. And you have all of these children and all of these women, and the word love, it becomes diluted because people get tired of hearing I love you, but there's nothing there to, there's no substance to the words. There's nothing to validate it. Thank you, baby. There's nothing to make it real. And so they get this watered down version of what love is. And then you wonder why the relationships don't work, the marriages don't work. You wonder why things don't go right, because you can't give somebody something that you never experienced yourself. And what I'm saying about that is, we talk about love all the time. We use Valentine's Day as a day of love, right? But if you ask the person what love is, what does love look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? How tall is love? Does love have a face? Right? Then people would think you was crazy. They'd be like, how can you ask a question like that? Love is only an emotion. That's what they say. But my Bible, yes, I'm preaching, says that God is love. Right? He's the epitome of love. So basically, if you don't know God and you don't have God, then you don't have the type of love that women deserve, that men deserve. And you can only give them a watered down version of what you believe love is. And so I know this statement might have offended somebody, I'm sorry, but God is love. There's no other way around it. He's love. And so if you have him, then you can give it to your mate. I told my wife a long time ago, I said, I don't love you, you know? And she was just looking at me, waiting on me to finish. And I was like, I'm too selfish to love you. And I told my wife, the only way that I can love you is through God. If I didn't have God in my life, then I couldn't express myself to her. I couldn't give you the love that you deserve. I can't sympathize with you when you're hurting. I can't say I'm sorry when I offend you without God. And so having God in my life gives me strength to admit when I'm wrong, to accept when I don't know something, to know when to back up, when to stop pushing, to know when I've hurt you, when I offended you. And so, man, when you get the love of God in your heart, when you learn who God is, and you get a taste of the love that he has for you, and you start to give that type of love to your mate, boy, there's no limit to where your marriage can go. There's no limit. I can be honest with you. I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot, right? And yes, you're right. We both, men and women, get hurt and go through things. But boy, let me tell you something. We don't go through nothing close to what women go through. You can't even imagine what they go through. Our hurt is totally different than the hurt that they feel or they experience in their life. Mm. So let your Valentine's Day mean something this time. Think about St. Valentine's and how he gave his life for this day. Just
not just this day, every day, right?
Every day. Yeah, every day. So I guess what I'm saying is remove the tradition out of the way. I'm not saying flowers are not good. Flowers are great. Uh, Chocolates are great. A home cooked meal is great. A massage is great. All of these things are great. But you know what make these things better? When they're done with real love. When you do it with real love. That's what make it better. When you're just doing it because it's the thing to do, it doesn't work. Believe me, I know. It's like going to church because grandma said you should go, or it's traditional, or it's the right thing to do, but you still don't have no relationship with God. It don't amount to anything. So you don't want your marriage to be like that. You don't want your relationship to be like that. You don't want to take one day out of the year and then treat her like she's a queen and then treat her like something else the rest of the year. It doesn't work. And a lot of men of God understand that. And I'm not saying that we're better, but we're more humble when it comes to listening to God because we believe in God. I don't expect someone who don't believe in God to understand what I'm saying, but I just pray that you do one day.
Valentine's Day, that's not their own day. They have their birthdays, they got Mother's Day, you know. I'm just playing. It's just a joke.
I was checking my time because we're getting short on time. We don't want to hold you guys up too long.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting ready to end the show, but our night is still going to be going.
See what untraditional thing I got coming. Can't wait.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just saying, practice what you preach.
There's one more thing I want to bring up before I go. She keep bringing stuff to mind. I don't know if you guys know this, but the reason that I talk about love so much is because on days like this, right, believe it or not, there's some people who are sitting alone and they're hurting because they don't have nobody in their life to share love with. Love is powerful, as the scripture says. It's more powerful than the grave. The Bible says that love covers a multitude of sins. Love is blind. You know, you can't see a person's fault too much when you're in love. I'm going to leave you with this. There was a lady in a grocery store, and I'm going to leave you with this. And she was in there, older lady. She had to be around 70 or 80 years old. And she was shopping and just singing and having fun. And this young lady this young man come to her and asked her, like, why are you so excited? I mean, you're just so happy. And she said, because we're getting ready to celebrate our anniversary. And he was like, your anniversary? And she was like, yes. She says, we've been married 56 years. And the young man was like, 56 years? How did you make it that long? How did you make it 56 years? And the woman looked at him and she smiled. And she said, easy. She said, because I focused on what he did right and not what he did wrong. I want you to think about that. He said, she said, I focused on what he did right and not what he did wrong. When you get in a relationship, you're not in a relationship to be a judge.
I would have said because he did what he was told. But
oh, Lord Jesus. You see what I mean? See, it's going to take a God to keep us together. You hear me? Matter of fact, we might need two gods. And I know there's only one. But we're going to let you guys go, man. We just want y'all to Have fun. Love yourself. Because you can't love nobody else until you love yourself. Love those who want to be loved by you. Love those who don't want to be loved by you. It doesn't matter. Tell somebody about us. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think. And in about 3 weeks, I'm going to say 2 to 3 weeks, I hope things did not change. I'm going to have a friend of mine on the podcast. He is a police officer. And we're going to be talking about racism. We're going to be talking about how a Caucasian cop learned how to deal with African American people who were criminals and who judged him based on his skin and what other cops had did. And we're going to be talking about that. It's going to be a real touchy subject. So let somebody know what's going on. Put the word out. Share the podcast with everybody. And who knows? I might be able to get real equipment.
It's coming. Don't worry.
Well, we're going to let y'all go. Man, y'all enjoy your Valentine's.
Love you, Tay. She's watching.
You love Tay?
Yes, I do. Happy Valentine's Day, baby.
My cousin, Felicia. Love you too.
Happy Valentine's to all. A good night.
This is not Christmas.